It's been 2 long years since Jackie packed her bags, left everything behind, and disappeared from Silver Falls. But the past has a strange way of finding you, especially when it wears the face of someone you once loved. The screen fades in with the soft hum of a guitar playing in the distance, like a memory trying to whisper its way back. The world of the Walters returns. Quiet at first, a small town still caught in the chill of Colorado mornings, where the sun creeps through frosted windows and the scent of coffee fills the kitchen. Everything looks the same, but nothing feels the same. Jackie is older now, different. The way she looks at the world tells a story that silence can't hide. The laughter she once shared with Alex and Cole has turned into echoes, bouncing off the walls of a heart still trying to decide where it belongs. In this new season, time hasn't healed much. Cole's smile hides regret. His confidence is now a mask for the choices he never made. Alex, on the other hand, has learned how to move on, or at least, that's what he tells himself every time he sees her name light up on his phone. The Walters house, once filled with chaos and teasing, feels quieter now. The dinner table isn't just a place for meals anymore. It's where unspoken feelings sit, heavy between them. Every chair holds a memory, every glance a question no one dares to ask. Jackie's return isn't planned. It's one of those moments life throws at you when you least expect it, the kind that shifts everything. She comes back under a gray sky, her car pulling into the familiar gravel driveway. The sound of the tires crunching under her wheels feels like footsteps echoing into the past. No one says anything at first. There's just the weight of surprise, of recognition, of unfinished stories waiting to unfold. She steps out, holding herself differently now, not like the girl who once ran from her feelings, but like someone ready to face them, even if they break her all over again. As she stands in front of the house, the front door creaks open, and the world seems to stop. There's Cole, standing in the doorway, looking exactly the same but entirely different. The air between them is sharp, filled with everything they didn't say before she left. Her lips part as if to speak, but nothing comes out. Instead, there's just a small nod, a silent acknowledgement that this isn't over. Behind him, the laughter of the younger Walters echoes faintly, reminding her of the family she once called her own. For a second, the warmth returns, but it's fleeting, replaced by the cold truth that some memories hurt because they matter too much. Inside, the walls are lined with familiar photos, frozen smiles from a time when things were simple. Jackie walks through the living room, fingers brushing across the framed moments, summer bonfires, football games. That first Thanksgiving where she didn't feel like an outsider. Each picture is a doorway to a version of herself she's outgrown but can't quite forget. She stops at one photo, the three of them, standing together by the barn, the light catching in her hair. It was the day before everything changed. Her hand trembles slightly as she traces the image, and the room feels smaller, like it's closing in on the past. Cole's voice breaks the silence from behind her, calm, low, uncertain. "Didn't think I'd see you here again?" Jackie doesn't turn immediately. She lets the words hang in the air. They're not angry words, just tired ones. The kind people say when they've carried too much for too long. When she finally faces him, there's a softness in her eyes, not forgiveness, not love, but something in between. The kind of look that says, "I remember everything, even when I tried to forget." The air between them thickens, not with anger, but with history. This is where their story begins again, in the quiet tension of a house that holds too many secrets. In the fragile stillness of two people who once promised never to hurt each other and did it anyway. Outside, snow begins to fall, slow and silent, covering the world in white as if trying to erase everything that came before. But some things, no matter how much you try to bury them, always find their way back to the surface. And for Jackie and Cole, the past isn't just coming back, it's already here. The night stretches long and heavy after Jackie's return, the kind of night that carries old ghosts in its silence. The air in the Walters house hums with the tension of things unsaid. Every sound, a creaking floorboard, a closing door, a sigh feels louder, like the house itself is eavesdropping. Jackie lies awake in the old guest room, staring at the ceiling. It looks smaller now, maybe because she's grown, or maybe because memories make spaces shrink. The moonlight seeps through the curtains, silver and cold, painting the room in a quiet loneliness that feels too familiar. She turns over, clutching the corner of the blanket, her mind replaying every moment that brought her here, the smiles, the heartbreak, the goodbye she never really meant. Downstairs, Cole sits at the kitchen table, a half-empty mug of coffee in front of him. The steam has long faded, but he doesn't move. He's staring at the doorway, like he expects her to walk through any minute. His thoughts are a storm he can't control, regret, guilt, longing all mixed into a silence that's heavier than words. He remembers the day she left, how he stood outside as her car disappeared into the horizon, too proud to stop her, too scared to admit that he wanted to. He told himself it was for the best, that she needed space, that he did too. But watching her step out of that car again earlier felt like seeing a ghost, beautiful, haunting, real. And now, that ghost is upstairs, and he can't sleep knowing that morning comes slow. The sunlight is soft but cold, slipping through the windows like it's afraid to disturb the peace. The smell of coffee fills the house again. Some habits never die. Jackie walks downstairs, her footsteps light, almost hesitant. The house feels alive again, but not in a loud way. More like the quiet before a storm. She catches a glimpse of Cole at the stove, the sleeves of his shirt rolled up, his hair a mess. It's such a simple sight, yet it hits her harder than she expects. Time may have passed, but he still looks like the boy she once thought she'd never forget. And maybe she never did. He turns when he hears her, offering a small, uncertain smile. Not the confident grin that once charmed everyone, but something more fragile. "Coffee?" he asks, and it's strange how one word can sound like an apology. She nods, sitting at the table, fingers tracing the rim of a mug she once used every morning. The silence between them isn't empty, it's thick with meaning. Every pause, every glance feels like it could crack open something neither of them is ready to face. Finally, she speaks, her voice soft but steady. "It's strange being back." Cole nods, his eyes not leaving her. "Yeah, feels like nothing's changed. But everything has." The words hang in the air, unfinished. But they don't need finishing. They both know what they mean. Before the moment can deepen, footsteps echo from the hallway. Alex enters, his hair slightly messy, his tone lighter, but his eyes freeze when he sees her. The mug in his hand nearly slips. For a moment, no one moves. Jackie's breath catches, Cole's jaw tightens. The silence stretches again, too thin, too fragile. Alex finally breaks it, his voice trembling just enough to betray what he's feeling. "You're back." Jackie manages a small smile. "I guess I am." Alex sets his mug down, his expression a mix of disbelief and something softer, something he's tried to bury. "For how long?" "I don't know," she answers honestly. "Maybe long enough to find out what I'm still doing here." Cole shifts uncomfortably, his eyes darting between them. The triangle is alive again, whether they want it or not. The air in the room feels smaller, tighter. Old wounds begin to stir. Alex laughs under his breath, a sound that's half relief, half ache. "You always did have a way of walking back in like you never left." Her reply is quiet but sharp. "And you always had a way of pretending it didn't matter." The tension in the room snaps like a stretched string. Cole turns away, running a hand through his hair. Jackie looks down, her heart pounding. This is exactly what she was afraid of, falling back into the same mess of feelings that once tore her apart. But the truth is, no matter how far she ran, her story with the Walter boys never really ended. Outside, the wind rustles through the trees, scattering leaves across the yard. It's the same sound that once filled their summer nights, back when everything was simple, or at least it felt that way. But now, every sound, every memory, carries weight. The world around them is moving forward, but they're all standing still, trapped in the gravity of what used to be. Jackie takes a deep breath, forcing herself to stand. "I should get some air," she says, her voice steady but her eyes distant. As she steps outside, the chill of the morning wraps around her like a warning. The mountains in the distance look calm, timeless, untouched, everything she's not. Behind her, through the window, two brothers stand in the same house, looking at the same girl, and realizing the past they thought they buried has come back, not to haunt them, but to demand an ending. The afternoon sun hangs low, golden and tired, spilling light across the Walters ranch like a memory trying to stay alive. Jackie walks down the old dirt path that winds past the barn, the same one where laughter once echoed, where promises were made and broken under the soft hum of summer nights. Every step feels heavier than the last. The air is thin, cold, but her chest feels tighter than the wind could ever make it. She stops at the edge of the field, where the grass sways gently. The creak of the barn door breaks her thoughts. She turns to see Alex standing there, hands in his pockets, his expression caught between nostalgia and regret. "I figured I'd find you here," he says, his tone soft, cautious. Jackie doesn't answer right away. The distance between them feels like years instead of steps. He walks closer, slow and deliberate, the crunch of gravel beneath his boots matching the rhythm of her heartbeat. "I used to come here," she says finally, her voice steady but low, "whenever things got too loud in the house. This was the only place that made sense. Alex nods, a small, knowing smile ghosting across his face. Yeah, you always needed quiet to think, and I was always the one who couldn't stop talking. That earns a faint smile from her. For a moment, it feels like the wall between them cracks. The tension softens, replaced by something warmer, fragile, but real. But then his eyes shift, and the warmth fades. Why are you really here, Jackie? The question hits harder than she expects. She looks away, focusing on the horizon where the sun begins to dip behind the hills. I thought I was ready to start over, she admits, but maybe I came back because I didn't know how. Her voice wavers just slightly. Everything outside of here felt fake. The people, the noise, the pretending. But here, at least the pain is real. Alex steps closer, his expression softening. You don't have to carry it alone. She lets out a bitter laugh. That's what you said the last time, and look how that turned out. He looks down, guilt flickering across his face. I know, but maybe this time don't. She interrupts, her tone sharp but not cruel. Don't promise something you can't keep. For a moment, they just stand there, the silence between them raw and heavy. Then, from behind, another voice cuts through the quiet. He's not the only one who made promises. Cole. He's leaning against the barn door now, arms crossed, watching them. His voice is calm, but his eyes tell a different story. Frustration, jealousy, pain. The air turns electric instantly. Jackie steps back slightly, caught between the two brothers. Her heart pounding like it's trying to escape. Alex's jaw tightens. You've been listening. Cole shrugs, hard not to. The walls aren't exactly thick. He takes a step closer, his tone low but steady. You think you're the only one she came back for. Jackie opens her mouth to speak, but Cole's eyes are on her now, sharp, searching, desperate. Tell him, he says. Tell him why you really came back. Her breath catches. For a second, everything freezes, the wind, the sound, even her heartbeat. The truth sits heavy on her tongue, something she's carried for far too long, but saying it would change everything. And maybe that's exactly what needs to happen. She takes a deep breath. I didn't come back for either of you, she says quietly. I came back because I need to face what I ran from, the person I used to be, the choices I made. Her voice cracks just enough to reveal the truth behind her calm. You both were part of my life, but you weren't my whole life. Cole's expression falters. Alex looks away. The silence that follows is sharp enough to cut through. For the first time, Jackie doesn't feel small in it. She feels honest, and that honesty, though painful, feels like the beginning of something real. The light outside begins to fade completely, the sky deepening into shades of orange and purple. The three of them stand there, surrounded by the quiet hum of the ranch, the air thick with history and something that feels like closure or maybe the start of another storm. As the wind picks up, the first few snowflakes of the season begin to fall, delicate and slow, drifting through the open barn door. They land on Jackie's jacket, on Cole's hand, on Alex's shoulder, tiny reminders that even in the coldest places, something new can always begin. But just as the moment begins to settle, Cole takes a step forward, his voice barely above a whisper. Jackie, there's something you don't know. The look in his eyes tells her everything. The truth is coming, and it's not going to be gentle. The air turns still, the soft rustle of the trees outside fades, and the quiet between them sharpens until it almost hums. Jackie stares at Cole, the color draining from her face. There's something in his eyes, not anger, not love, but the weight of something long buried. Alex senses it too. His posture stiffens, his jaw tightens, and the calm he's been clinging to begins to slip. Cole's voice, when he finally speaks, is low and heavy, like each word costs him something to say. The day you left, he begins, his gaze locked on Jackie. I didn't just let you go. I made sure you couldn't come back. Jackie blinks, confused. What are you talking about? He looks down, unable to meet her eyes now. I told your uncle you needed space, that you didn't want us contacting you. I made him promise to give you distance. His throat tightens. I thought I was protecting you. You'd been through enough, and I didn't want to make it worse. But I didn't realize I was cutting you off. The confession hits like a wave. Jackie takes a step back, her breath catching. Her hands tremble slightly, anger and disbelief mixing into something wordless. You decided that for me, she says, her tone quiet but sharp enough to pierce through the air. You took away my choice. Cole's voice cracks. I thought I was doing the right thing. You were breaking apart, Jackie. I thought if I let you go, you could finally breathe. Jackie shakes her head slowly. You didn't let me go. You erased me. The words hang there like a storm cloud ready to break. Alex steps forward, his eyes dark with realization. You knew all this time. You knew she was out there alone. His tone carries a fury he can't contain. Cole doesn't answer, and that silence says more than any explanation could. Jackie's chest feels tight, like her heart is fighting to keep its rhythm. I waited for someone to call, she whispers. For someone to ask if I was okay. Every time my phone didn't ring, I told myself it was because I mattered too little. And all this time, it was because you decided for me. Cole finally looks up, his eyes red with guilt. I thought I was saving you from us. From me. But she's not listening anymore. Her mind is spinning, filling with memories that now carry a different truth. Every unanswered message. Every lonely night. Every silence that once felt like abandonment. The ache she carried wasn't fate. It was choice. His choice. Alex's fists clench at his sides. You don't get to call that love, he says, voice shaking. You can't say you cared while you were tearing her apart. Cole turns toward him, anger flashing through his regret. And what about you? Huh, you think you were the hero? You watched her break too. You said you'd be there. But you left the moment things got hard. Because you pushed me out, Alex snaps. You always did. You wanted her to yourself, even if it meant burning everything around you. Jackie steps between them, her voice rising. Stop. It echoes through the barn, raw and trembling. You both talk about what you did for me, but none of it was for me. It was for you. To protect your pride. To make your pain easier to live with. Her voice softens, but the fire remains. You turned my life into your battlefield. The silence that follows is heavy, but this time, Jackie doesn't shrink under it. She stands taller, her shoulders squared, the weight of her truth holding her steady. She looks at Cole, her eyes filled with both pain and strength. You can't fix what you broke by saying sorry. Some things don't get fixed. They just stay broken. Cole's lips part as if to speak, but no words come. Alex looks down, guilt shadowing his face. For the first time, Jackie feels the power shift, not in anger, but in clarity. This moment isn't about choosing one of them, it's about finally choosing herself. She steps past them, the cold evening air rushing in as she pushes open the barn doors. Outside, the world is wrapped in twilight, the sky deep purple, the last streaks of sun fading into night. Snow begins to fall again, heavier this time, blanketing the ground like a clean page. Jackie stops just beyond the door, her voice quiet but steady. I came back to find closure. I guess I found it. Cole takes a step forward, desperation flickering in his eyes. Jackie, she doesn't turn. Goodbye, Cole. Goodbye, Alex. Her words aren't sharp or cruel. They're final, honest, the kind of goodbye that doesn't ask for an answer. She walks toward her car, each step echoing softly in the cold. The snow crunching beneath her boots. Inside the barn, Cole stands motionless, his heart caught between regret and realization. Alex looks at his brother, but there's no anger left, just exhaustion. You always wanted to be the one she chose, he says quietly, but she finally did. And it wasn't either of us. Outside, Jackie starts the car. The headlights cut through the snow, the engine humming low. She glances once at the rearview mirror, at the faint outline of the barn in the distance, then drives away, not fast, not escaping, but moving forward. As the camera lingers on the empty field, the snow continues to fall, covering her footprints one by one, until there's nothing left but silence. Then, a faint echo. Cole's voice, quiet and broken. I'm sorry, but it's carried away by the wind, lost in the sound of winter settling in.